take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground and it go off. Yeah, hit the ground and it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground and it go off. Yeah, hit the ground and it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah.
All right, we are back. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to the morning show here on Stock Market TV. Spencer, JC, Steve, Alfonso. We got the full crew with you today. What's going on? I hope you all had a great weekend. We got a lot to discuss. Maybe talk some overnight futures. Maybe talk a little bit of not much in the way of earnings today, but later on in the week, boy, we have earnings later on this week. We'll get to that later on this week. Guest today, a new guest on the show. If you had that on your bingo card, there you go. Michael Antonelli. He is a market strategist at Baird. Great follow on the old Twitter platform. If you follow him at Bull and Baird, we'll be on at 9. We'll have Kenny Glick. We'll have Sam Gatlin. And that is the plan for the show. So, chat, good morning. Good to see y'all. Let's get this show on the road here, shall we? Let's do it.
Dude, I'm dadding so hard these days, Strazza. So hard. So I'm new to this suburban dad country club stuff, right? Like I'm totally new. I didn't grow up in Connecticut, like in Miami, we didn't do these country club things. We went to the beach, right?
Sure.
Dude, the Halloween party at the country club last night for the kids. I thought we were going to do some pumpkin carving, maybe a cocktail or two and like nice little Sunday. Mm-hmm. Dude, it was like a wedding. There was a DJ. They were like characters, like full spread buffet. I swear to God, I have been to very few weddings in my life that were better than the Halloween party last night. To the point where like if 2 6-year-olds got married, right, hypothetically, and you asked those 2 6-year-olds, well, what do you want the wedding to be like? It would have been like last night. There would have been candy everywhere, all the songs they were playing, characters showing up, Captain Hook dancing with Tinkerbell. Like, dude, it was bananas. So shout out to suburban life. It is out of control.
Is this the first party that you attended at the club?
No, I went to a couple other parties that were kind of lame. Actually, I went to a party with the homies on Friday night. It was a wine tasting. It was terrible.
Yeah.
So I didn't go in there with high expectations, but wow.
I too went to a Halloween party this weekend at Fantasy Fest. It sounds like it was very different, though. Very, very different from the party you attended. I would love to show pictures, but they're not safe for work.
Yeah, if anybody knows about Fantasy Fest in Key West, it is really something.
So we went for it. It's like a 90s theme this year.
Were you clothed or were you naked like the others?
No, we were clothed.
Or do I not want to know? Is that a wrong question?
No.
We were clothed. I mean, we were clothed, but it's Halloween, So we went. Rose went full like Britney Spears "Hit Me Baby" style, and I went like Naughty Professor. So it was pretty good actually. Like we nailed this theme. I was proud of us.
But those are the types of themes that one would choose for an event like Key West.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, it's not like you're that creepy. I mean, you're a little creepy, but not like.
Listen, some people come down here, JC, and they spend like 2 weeks just doing crazy shit and going to costume parties. It's insane. We went out one night of the 2 weeks. It was fun, All
right, let's get into markets. Lots to talk about today.
Mm-hmm. All right, what's the word?
All right, the word on the street is that the Dow futures are up quite a bit. 144 points this morning for the Dow, 42,460. S&P futures up about 0.5%. That's 28 points, just under 5,900 for S&Ps. NASDAQ 100 futures leading the way, up 0.2%. That's 134 points, 20,630 for the NASDAQ 100 futures. Bonds are muted this morning on the 30-year, right around 118. Crude oil getting smoked. Like absolutely smoked. Crude oil down 6 6% this morning, back to 67. Copper down 0.5%, 434. Gold down 1/3%, 27.5. Silver down 0.5%, 33.5. The volatility index down to 19. Funny saying down to 19, still pretty elevated out there. And over in the funny money, you got Bitcoin up 1,000 points, just under 69,000. Ethereum just above 2,500, up almost 4% this morning. Solana up 0.5%, 177 for Solana. Binance just under 600, up 1%. Total crypto market cap, Spencer Israel, 2.28 trillion, with the Bitcoin dominance pushing 60% as Bitcoin continues to, well, dominate. What do we think?
I love whenever there are big moves in the oil market. It is so often like the oil market is like inversely correlated in a way to like the real world. So what the news here over the weekend is that there are these airstrikes right over in the Middle East, and Israel was attacking Iran. But wait,
hold on. Airstrikes in the Middle East, is that news or is that just standard operating procedure for most weekends?
It's SOP, but I guess because they didn't attack any refineries, that's bad. Obviously, it's bad for oil, right? Supply stays the same, price goes down. Right. So, yeah, I don't know, man. It's just like the oil market is so freaking weird. It's like
the oil market is so freaking weird. That's probably a good way to put it, Spencer.
Yeah. Here's what I'll say.
Well said there.
Look, oil and dollars, I don't give a shit about oil. I care so much about the direction of the US dollar, though. And for a while now, crude oil and the US dollar have actually been highly correlated, moving in the same direction.
Gold too.
The last 2 weeks, though, huge breakdown, huge dislocation in that relationship. Dollars have been screaming higher. It's like every single day the dollar's up. Crude's really, been under pressure, though, these past 2 weeks. Now you're seeing crude looking like it's going to break the lower bounds of its range. I'm looking at the dollar thinking that's got to at least head back in that direction. And I think that'd be very bullish for risk assets.
All right, why don't we start there? And then we'll get into some of the other stuff that I've been watching. So throw up slide 2 there, Spencer.
And JC, everybody's talking about crude oil 67. Crude just left the 70s. I think Bitcoin is headed to the 70s.
Hey, now, see what you did there. All right, let's go. I see former resistance turning into support. We have an echo.
That's terrible.
Whose echo is that? Is that Spencer?
I didn't do anything.
No, that was Strazza. Strazza's echoing.
I don't think it was.
Look at that former resistance turning into support. Right? All of that former resistance, 09, 2010, turned into support. Right? In that 18, 20 period. And then that resistance from 16, 17, and into 2020 has turned into support over the past year. They've tried everything they could to knock down the dollar, unable to do so, as that former resistance up there has turned into support. Spencer Israel, do you think that's just a coincidence?
What, that old resistance turns into support?
This is what's happening in the US dollar.
No, I tend to get my takes on the dollar from you guys, right? You are more well versed in the meaning of this chart than I, so I will just defer to you on whether it's a coincidence or not. I don't think it is, but
I don't think it's a coincidence. Let's get into some of the we have an election a week away. So let's get into what this might mean for markets. I'm in the camp that the market has fully priced in a second Trump presidency, whether you like the guy or you don't like the guy. The market knows what it's getting with Trump, right?
Facts.
4 years already. The stock market did great with Trump as president, despite a global pandemic. The Nasdaq was up like 140%. And then here's the poly market, literally just skyrocketing higher with every day that goes by. Trump goes up, and Kamala has completely fallen apart over the last month since she started doing interviews and stuff like that.
I don't know what they're writing in normal places or like saying in traditional media, but everyone believes this is a hoax.
I know. I think
normal people think that this is all fixed.
So my argument is if you think that this is all fixed and there's 4 people behind the scenes manipulating this because Peter Thiel's a Republican and all of these things, that's one way to think about it. And if you think that these businessmen are going to be one and done, like Kentucky basketball style, like one election and you're the leader and then the company disappears overnight, like that's just not good business. So that leads me to believe that that's probably not what's happening. It's probably not being manipulated, but let's just go with the manipulation. In most cases, people who think that it's being manipulated are hoping that it's being manipulated because they don't like what they see. So ask yourself, is it that you don't like what you see, or is it that you don't believe it? And then what I would defer to is look at the other betting odds. Look at call sheet. Go to that one. So you're seeing the same thing. That's Spencer. That's your cue.
I'm not.
Same thing, literally straight up over the past month. This Kamala has completely fallen apart. And then when you go to predict it, you're seeing the exact same thing on the next one, Spencer.
My new thing is the Washington Commanders indicator. Do you guys know about this?
Hold on, Spencer.
This is confirmed by volume.
Yeah, hold on. One more thing. Also, Robinhood just announced this morning that they are opening up their betting markets too. So if you are in the conspiracy theory camp that Peter Thiel and his associates are manipulating the poly market, and then they're also manipulating all these other ones, are they going to manipulate the Robinhood also? You know,
let me just say, I love how low Robinhood's bar is for all this.
What do you mean?
There's no line there. They'll go anywhere, Robinhood. And I like that.
Another good point that Caleb Franz is making. If you do actually believe that these are being manipulated and this is all a fugazi, then you're getting great odds. You can place that bet and actually bet that yes, in fact, these are being manipulated. Harris is actually going to become the president of the United States. Like, if you actually believe that, you can make a lot of money. You probably won't. I think that you're going to lose it all, but you can actually make a wager. Caleb's absolutely right. So if you're you can either be angry about it or you can put your money where your mouth is. I doubt you're going to do that.
This is what I've been saying to everybody. I even dropped a link on Twitter for somebody last week. The banks are going to tell you, look at KRE, it's going to break out of this range. It's going to front run this thing. The cryptos are going to tell you, I would imagine you get this range resolution. You probably get it in a big way before the results of the election are out. And I also think you just go and you look at the swing states. Look at the betting markets for the swing states. If those all start getting really, really red, look for them to really.
It's got Trump winning all of them currently, by the way.
And that's why I'm saying, look, people, I don't want to get up here and say what I see, but just go look for yourself. And I think the market is probably going to price in this election in a big way before this election, and then I think you're going to get something different.
I think it's all priced in. Second Trump presidency, it's already a done deal.
They're going to sell the news then.
Yes, I was about to ask. I was about to ask that, Steve. Actually,
yes. Hold on. So, if that is the case, Strazza is right. Regional banks have been doing great. Bitcoin has been doing great. All of those are Trump things. The DJT, all that stuff are Trump things. They've been doing great, pointing to the exact same thing that the betting odds. However, throw up slide 6 there, Spencer, is real, because China ripping in everybody's face is not part of the Trump trade. So the question becomes, is the strength in China suggesting that perhaps a Harris presidency is upon us, or should we be impressed with the resiliency in Chinese equities despite a second Trump presidency? In my humble opinion, it is the latter.
I don't think it could be both, right? The market, if the market's pricing in an event, it's gonna price it broadly, right? It's gonna hit all the groups that are affected by that event, right? If institutions are trying to bet on a theme, they're not going to hit the cryptos and the regional banks, but not short the solar, right? They're going to price in the whole theme. So I think the strength, the resilience from China, to me, is like, wow, this sort of upside momentum, even while the market's pricing in Trump, I think it just stands out that much more.
And the last thing I want to say is that we're here to make money in the market, so we don't give a shit who your president is, whether it's in the United States or in France or in Chile or Brazil. We don't give a damn who your president is. Our only goal here is to make money. And if you don't like that because you're sensitive, little Karen, then you could just go somewhere else, right? But for us, we're trying to try to profit from the whole thing, regardless of whether we like the president or not, right? It's not going to change what we're doing. So I just wanted to just make that clear.
And there will always, literally every single 100% of the time, be factors external to politics that are driving the price action in these stocks that we're talking about. I did an interview with NerdWallet Friday, I think it was, and I showed them all of our charts, JC. I said, look at how coal did under Biden. Now look at how good solar energy was, top industry group under Trump. So he goes, how could this be? Like, how do you explain this? The one way to explain that is that the president's just not all that important.
Thank you.
Compared to or relative to everything else that's going on, like the interest rate regime. What's the Fed doing? What's the stimulus look like? If you go back and you look at the groups that perform well under Trump, you almost need to stop at the pandemic, right? Because then the pandemic happened, and that was 10 times more important than anything that was going on in the executive branch of government, right? So that's always going to be the case. I don't know what the next COVID is, but there's going to be something under the next president that's 10 times more important than the policies and the platforms of that president.
At the end of the day, we have the data. The market is more interested in what Congress looks like than who the president is, right? The stock market likes a Republican Congress, not the. In fact, the best combination is a Democratic president and a Republican Congress. Granted, not a huge sample size, but if you really want to go to the importance, it's definitely Congress, not the presidency. It's earnings season, and we've got a big surprise. Don't let the cat out of the hat just yet. Cat out of the bag, rabbit out of the hat. Don't tell anybody what it's going to be. We haven't announced it yet, but throw up Amazon, the Amazon chart. There's slide 7, Spencer.
We love our Amazons.
We do love our Amazons. The American ones, the Kazakhstani ones.
You know there's more than one of these, right?
Yes, indeed. But this is the Amazon. Like this is the Amazon, right? The OG. And we got our earnings on Thursday. I don't know, maybe they didn't check the calendar. It's Halloween. Those of us have kids are doing Halloween things. But I'm going to take some time from Halloween, and I'm going to be there. We'll be live streaming on Thursday. We have a surprise guest because some people, I can't imagine why, go into earnings calls and listen to earnings calls without having any idea how to judge those calls. And we are bringing in a very special guest who just happens to know very well what is going on there. So anywhere where you're going for earnings calls and all that stuff without our special guest, you're going to be lost and confused. Don't be lost and confused. Be there with us, and we'll be announcing shortly who's going to be there with us.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. We're so good at making new friends. So this someone.
Well, this one's an old friend.
Visited us at the studio, old but new again. This is someone I've been following my whole career, and I really don't think there's anyone better to break down and talk about retail stocks. So I'm very excited that I get to join in on this live stream that we're doing.
Check your email later this afternoon.
Can I also say, JC, Amazon could not be looking better heading into this quarter's earnings. I mean, this is right where you want it. I'm just saying that's pretty good. There's a big level here. So yeah, that's good stuff. Okay.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And the Amazon of Argentina has already exceeded those highs, showing a little relative strength there. So if the Amazon of Argentina can take out those highs, you think the Amazon of America can do it too?
Is that the Melly? That's the Melly, right?
That's the Melly.
I think you got to look out for Canada too, eh? Canada?
Canada?
Yep.
You know, I don't know that Shopify qualifies as the Amazon of Canada.
It's a little bit different, but we're going with it.
I know. You know what? That's what I said. I said to somebody who questioned that, I go, we err on the side of over-inclusion versus under-inclusion. I'd rather just have something in there that might not belong versus just skipping something that should have been in there.
What you're saying is correct, but it's too fundamental, right? So Shopify is a back end online retailer.
Yeah,
right? You don't go to a Shopify platform. All the others are their own platform. So you're right, JC. It's different in that way. But guess what? It's got that beautiful base. It looks the same as all the others. It's climbing up the right-hand side. And it's also probably the most important, or it's the consumer stock of Canada. That's their stock, right? So it's on there.
Jack says that I call viewers sensitive little Karens if they care about anything other than making money.
Was that Mexican Canadian?
All of us here care about a lot of things that have nothing to do with making money. I love tacos and cannolis. It has nothing to do with making money. That, in fact, costs me money. But there are, in fact, sensitive little Karens that we love that exist, because those sensitive little Karens love to make donations to the market because they're too mentally weak to overcome their political biases and they let those things impact their decision making. So those are those little Karens that like to make donations. Us over here, JC, Strazza and company, we like to take those donations and put them in our pockets so we can buy more tacos and cannolis.
Can I finish telling you about the Washington Commanders indicator? Do you guys know about this?
Tell me.
Back to this. You guys ever have a deep fried cannoli though?
Probably not.
Fried cannoli,
Bro.
wow,
Stupid.
So, whatever the result is of the final home game,
This is so stupid, Spencer.
that the Redskins / Commanders played before the election.
Stop.
If the home team loses, then the incumbent party will win. If the home team wins, then the challenging party will win.
So that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. It's funny though. What's the record? It's got a good record?
It's got a great record. Don't shoot the messenger, man. I don't know off the top of my head, but it's got a great record. So the Commanders won on a Hail Mary yesterday.
Okay. Did you guys see that game?
Which would indicate that the challenging party, aka the Republicans, will take the White House. That's all it says. That's what I'm saying.
So I love me some Jaden Daniels. I think he's like the newest, most exciting guy to watch in the NFL right now. So I've been watching the Redskins like every week. They tricked me into signing up for an NFL ticket. So I had the game on last night, and with like 20 seconds to go, Bears kick a field goal. I'm like, it's over. I turned the game off. I missed that. Did you see their defensive back running around?
I did.
Oh,
I did.
Man, it's a good way to get fired.
You know what's great is that a team that calls themselves the Bears were dancing and celebrating while they were getting their asses kicked.
That was something.
And I feel like in the market, we just saw something very similar. Remember, like, oh my God, this huge event is going to crash the market, and it's a bear market rally. And remember what all these assholes were telling you over the last couple of years?
Well,
this is while they were losing. So
2 years ago now, but all right.
What do you say to that player when you get back into the locker room, though?
You're an idiot.
I would say get the fuck out.
Dude, you're an idiot.
That's
You're a
crazy.
professional idiot. Kind of like these, like, oh, it's just a bear market rally people. They are professional idiots.
Wow.
This is like that.
That was
And he's wearing a Bears uniform. I mean, it's too good. Too good.
all right.
You can't, I mean, if you think that this is not a simulation and you seeing that sort of thing happening, come on. Come on.
All right. Solana, when moon?
Yeah, man, for sure. One
Like
moon
when?
is right.
But like when?
I don't know. It's, now it's happening. It is mooning. We are in the moon. This is the mooning.
I think 160 was really the level to kick it off, right?
Yeah, this
Well,
Solana, very, very impressive. The relative strength, new all-time highs relative to Ethereum.
And when you look at any of the majors, JC, we've been talking about these VWAP levels, like these range high VWAPs all year, I feel like. They're all above it, right? So buyers, bulls are in control of these trends pretty much across all time frames. You can make a sound argument for. So it's all set up to go. We just need the fireworks. Like I want to see some momentum out of these ranges. I want to see decisive breakouts. I want to see authoritative moves out of these, basically year-long ranges at this point. And when you get ranges this prolonged, right, where people are just so tired and sick of it and they're giving up, right, and they're leaving the trade because they've been so worn out, you get massive explosive resolutions. This is one of the highest beta asset classes known to man in the history of markets. And it's been dead sideways, nothing, building up energy almost all year long. And this is Bitcoin's time, by the way. We're walking right into the holiday season. This is when they go. I don't think you could ask for a better setup.
True.
Watch that dollar. What?
That's true. Very true. Hey, speaking of VWAP, should we bring on the Vanguard of
Please.
VWAP?
Please,
just
the
made that
grandfather of day trading.
I just made that up. All right.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't come from my club, they tugged it. Putting up numbers, 99 problems, and I still kept it 100. Hola. Yeah.
Oh,
Kenny Glick in the house.
What a shirt.
Have you been in that shirt since Friday?
And by the way, this is the Rizzuto.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. I met Phil Rizzuto, and when I saw them selling Rizzuto jerseys, I was like, I got to get one.
Those are tough to get, dude.
Phil Rizzuto was one of the greatest Yankees ever. Not many people talk about him, and he was the sweetest, nicest guy. I used to do baseball card shows and autograph shows, and you had to buy a ticket, then you come up, you get your autograph, and within a couple of hours, there was nobody left that wanted Phil Rizzuto's autograph, and me and him just started talking. And of course, I said, hey, you know what? I always said to myself, if I ever got to meet you, I'd ask you about the Meatloaf song. You know the Meatloaf song, Paradise by Dashboard Light, when he's in there talking about getting to first base, second base.
Yeah.
And he told me the greatest story. He told me, he's like, when I signed off on it, I didn't realize it was going to be used in that connotation, and I wasn't going to let them use my likeness. And he's like, Meatloaf was such a sweet boy that I let him use it, and the rest is history. And me and Phil Rizzuto hung out for like 2 hours, just having a good time. Him and John Franco were there too. John Franco, also another great guy. But we're not talking about the Yankees.
Phil Rizzuto, ready? My favorite Phil Rizzuto quote: "I'll take any way to get into the Hall of Fame. If they want a bat boy, I'll go in as a bat boy."
Yeah, Phil Rizzuto, one of the great ones. But we're talking about greatness destroyed. We're talking about a franchise, the New York Football Jets, who can take a Hall of Fame quarterback.
I knew this was coming.
They could take a Hall of Fame quarterback and break him over their knee. And as a real Jets fan who's truly 100% pessimistic all the time, this is not anything new. They have taken a team, no matter what they try to do, now they take a Hall of Fame quarterback. Now he suddenly doesn't know how to play football. He doesn't even know how to manage a clock. He doesn't know what he's doing on the field suddenly around with players, and they get his buddy to be a wide receiver. That's going to change the game. Here comes Hassan Reddick to prop up that defense. That's not going to change the game. And my friends, if you're not betting live with me, get involved in Glick's picks. It's absolutely amazing.
What is Glick's picks?
And if you're starting to, don't do parlays, don't do teasers, because the Ravens ruin it every time. The Ravens they lose these games where all they had to do was win. We would have hit a 3-team parlay. But the big plays tonight also, because the Giants are losing 38-2 tonight to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
38-2. They're going to get a safety.
Unbelievable what I'm watching here. And Aaron Judge. I mean, this guy's a blow-off top right there. He blows the top off, and now he's in a downtrend, and everyone's trying to pick the bottom, and you're getting your fingers cut off. He's done. This is so epically bad. He's like the guy that you just, we got to let our friend play. All right, here he goes. He's going to strike out. Here he goes. Oh, all right. But we got to let him play anyway because he's going to beat us up after the game if we don't let him bat third or fourth. I mean, it's absolutely a travesty to watch, but you bet against it. Yeah, you can bet on the strikeout. It was plus 180 every time he came up. Either strikeout or in play out, and you're getting 2-to-1 odds on it. It was amazing.
All right, Kenny. So traditionally picking bottoms gives you smelly fingers. But when you have a mean reversion strategy and you're waiting for that crossover above the VWAP, then it's more advantageous to go there and pick your bottoms, isn't it?
Yes, when you let the bottom pick itself, otherwise known as the faux show bro. And it's going on right now on this chart. Do you see the chart? Look at that.
All right, zoom in. What are we looking at here? We got to
look at the Q.
Y-axis bigger, Kenny.
Right there. I'll zoom it in for you. This is just this morning, right? So basically, the orange line is prior day VWAP. The market.
And what stock?
There was no orange line.
This is the Qs.
Oh, there's no orange line.
Oh, yes, there is. Yes, there is.
Right here.
Oh, down there. Got it.
So as long as again, pullbacks are natural, pullbacks are warranted, pullbacks are welcomed. You get to buy the dip. Again, that Friday dip was easy in a way. I mean, UVXY ripping into the close was kind of daunting. You don't want to see UVXY going up into the close. That kind of portends there's an idea, but it was basically Israel-Iran nonsense again. And you walk in, I guess it's over. Nothing matters. But more importantly, if you came in and you don't want to buy into the rally, let the rally come to you, and then it holds prior day VWAP, giving you the elusive faux show bro. So that's where we're at. Not really much to talk about, but we're going to do something really dumb, kids. We're going to take the Jets' money, and we're going to put it all on PayPal. Now, again, this is not what I do. This is not my track record is not good here. Betting into an earnings report because I don't want to miss out. So again, what am I doing here? Fear of missing out. I think the stock's about to break out, And if it's going to break out, it's happening tomorrow morning on this earnings report. Now, again, if I wasn't going into this thing long, I would say I hope it opens up down, gathers some steam, gives me the faux show, bro. We could buy it tomorrow. But I'm not going in like that. I'm going in, I'm not going to say balls deep, but I'm going to go in, maybe I'm nibbling here. So I'm going 82, 83, call spread with the 90s for the week. I think this thing opens up around $88. And if we get through the 88, we could be looking at 102 probably by the end of the year. Too bullish PayPal not to go in buying on some options going into the report. But let me explain why this is a bad trade. Even if we're right, the 83s, 84s are going to cost us 3 and change, 4 and change. That's why you got to do a little call spread. Take something off the top on the 92s and 93s. We'll talk about more in the room when the options open up. But you're buying an overly priced option going into the unknown. It's a losing trade, but we're doing it anyway. So that's where I'm at. I like PayPal, and we're going to probably just gamble on it.
Would this be considered the Andy Dufresne?
Yes, this is one of the only ones. I mean, not one of the only ones, but it's paid us already. We've done all right. There was 2 Andy Dufresne, so this hasn't really run to say Wataneo yet. So we're waiting to see it get over there.
Can you explain the Andy Dufresne pattern for those who might be unfamiliar?
Real fast.
Yeah, when you have a stock that's crashed and has basically wallowed in its muck, traveling through that little tunnel, when it comes out the other side, it usually runs like the Carvana, obviously from 1750. Thank you very much, guy in the back who's still in it. PayPal, that's why I have to be involved into this number, because if you gap above this fancy orange line again, it's going to gap and go. And we might be looking at 92, 93 by the end of the week. So I got to be involved. I'm not going super huge. I'm hoping for a little pullback today so we can get some cheaper options. But if it does run, the next phase is to break back above where it crashed down from. That's why I'm thinking PayPal 120 easy next year. But give me 7 points tonight. One time, baby. One time.
I like it, Kenny. I'm into it. I really, really like the Andy Dufresne pattern. Like, as funny as that might be, like, that's like legit. Like, just, I mean, it makes so much. It's kind of like it's like the Kardashian bottom, but like different though. Different.
That's why the Carvana trade was amazing. Carvana was the Dolly Parton triple Kardashian Andy Dufresne pattern. And if you want to know more about that, get the brochure.
That's a generational opportunity.
It really is.
Sure.
And it really was.
All
right, Kenny. Adios, buddy.
All right.
Glick in the house. Never a dull moment with Kenny.
Never a dull moment. All right, let's bring on our new guest, Michael Antonelli from Baird.
Do it.
Bring him on, and we have a few charts as well. It's going to be good.
Jay, we've been for a long time. Make the call.
This is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
All right. What's up, Mr. Antonelli? How are you?
I can't stop laughing at some of these things you guys are talking about. I'm absolutely dying here in the backstage.
You don't trade the Andy Dufresne pattern?
I love the notion of the Andy Dufresne pattern. But can we name a new one after the Dwayne Wade bust? Like maybe a setup that's just so bad that like
jawline is just a little too big for D Wade.
Yeah, something's off there. Maybe we can name a setup after that. That's what I'm hoping.
And Dwayne Wade, my all-time favorite basketball player. He's brought so much joy to my life, and they do him like that. Damn, it's
unbelievable. I swear, like of all the things that happened this weekend that were crazy, that was definitely one of them.
That's exactly right. I want to throw up slide 2 there. Look at this motley crew in California. What was that, like 6 weeks ago or so? Throw that up there, Spencer.
It was, right? Crew. Yeah. Oh, it's just, I tell you, it's like one of the best conferences you can go to. Not only because you can meet incredible people, but you're on the beach, right? You're outside. It just feels good.
And this was like not planned. We were just kind of hanging out, and all of a sudden, I mean, like Jack and Doug and Morgan Housel, JB.
I mean, look at that. Look at that firepower. Like, where else are you going to go to a conference where you're going to meet people like that? Just random. There's no way.
And these are, these are old pals. I have a lot to be thankful for a lot of these guys. That conference that they put on, it's like you people, right? Like, I don't really have any business there. Like, I'm just there to hang out. But it's like a lot of financial advisors.
Yeah.
Financial advisor, fintech for financial advisors. Like some of these things, they start talking about retirement accounts. I'm like, I'm going to the bar. I'm out of here. Like I can't sit through that stuff.
That's the great thing. You can just bounce if you don't like the content. You just walk up to something, you bounce. I mean, I ended up walking with Morgan Housel for like 2 hours, and just like the value to that me is just incredible. Absolutely
Yeah,
incredible.
no question. So this is the Future Proof Conference in Huntington Beach. I think this is the third one. There's way too many people there. It's like 4,000 people.
No, the bar was like that. The first bar, I think I saw you. I'm like, this is unmanageable. Like we can't do this.
Couldn't even get a drink. And by the way, it wasn't like it was one bar. There was like 50 bars. Bartenders everywhere still couldn't get a drink.
It's like it was like one of the worst experiences that I had ended up paying for since like going to like a college bar and there's like one bartender. You just like the whole thing just is impossible to navigate. So
that's right. That's right. So Michael Antonelli, those who are unfamiliar, you work very closely with a lot of financial advisors. Are you a financial advisor yourself? Are you working more with other financial advisors? Like, what does your day job look like?
I'll give you my 5-second background. So I used to be an equity trader. I was an institutional equity trader. I used to trade VWAP every day of my life. I used to trade just vanilla equities for institutions all over the world. Did that for 12 years. And then I was a pretty good content creator. I was a pretty good writer, blogger. So I switched over to private wealth to kind of produce content for private wealth for Baird, big financial services firm. We're headquartered in Milwaukee, which is where I live. And I spend my whole day talking about markets. I spend talking about bulls, bears. I write about it. I speak about it. I do YouTube. I do a show called All That Matters on YouTube. And listen, JC, I think you know this. I think that the strategists of the current era, and I guess even going forward, like you need a personality. Like you can't just be this like empty suit, like throw a bunch of content up like charts and be like, oh, here's my content. I think you need some personality. You need some takes. You need to be able to talk not only about the markets, but you need to relate to how the average individual can benefit from that. And you know what? You need to make fun of things every now and then, like perma bears who suck, like just ultimately suck. So you need to actually have a good synergy
for them, Antonelli. Though, if these people didn't suck as much as they did, and if all these sheep wouldn't listen to them, then there'd be less money for us to make.
I said that to Morgan House. I'm like, you're ruining the stock market. Like the more you educate people, the better investor they'll be, and you're going to take away that 10% average per year.
We need the dummies following the dummies with the big followings.
Yeah, I guess you're right. We actually do need them. So anyway, I create a lot of content. I got a bunch to share with you today. We got a bunch of things we can talk about here. But I will say, before we start, I want to just thank you and the team for having me on. Not only today, which I'm sure you guys planned this out. Like, so I'm a bit of a perma bull. Today is actually the best day of the year in the stock market. Traditionally, it's the best day. So October 28th, if you were to look seasonality, plus 50 basis points. It's the single greatest day of the year if you were to average them all out. So
so far off to a good start here with the NASDAQ 100 up 0.75%.
Yeah. So, I mean, we know seasonality is just about to kick off in the fall with the tape. We know election seasonality is in full swing, and now we got the single best day of the year seasonality to talk about.
All right. So you brought over history happens to the president.
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
All right, I think you'll like that. We got an election in a week in the United States of America for those who partake.
So what everybody's looking at here is I want you to know that the stock market does bad under every president, which, there's so much biases that go out into the world about elections, especially presidential elections, the stock market. So I said, are there presidents that have worse stock markets than others? Like, is it party-based? What is it? And I found, JC, that if you grant me a little bit of leeway on one or two of these, that every single president had a bear market, all of them, every single one. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell at least 19 to 20, 30, 40, 50% for every single president. And that's the interesting data point because it tells me that it's not the person sitting in power that matters. It's just what happens in the world. It's just whatever's happening in the world happens to the president. And not only do these bear markets happen to every president, it's all sorts of opportunities for us, right? Look at, Trump, W. Bush, Clinton, Reagan, Carter, all of them gave traders and investors opportunities to buy dips along the way because something happened. Ronald Reagan got the crash of 87. Trump got COVID. Eisenhower got the Cold War. Bill Clinton got long-term capital. So all of these.
Bill Clinton got a few things.
Yeah, exactly. So just you got to set your bias. You got to take your biases and just shove them underground. Like you just cannot let those affect you when it comes to the stock market.
Yeah, but Michael, in a similar way that we need perma bears to convince sheep to sell their stocks at the wrong possible time so we could buy from them and those kind of things. Like you also need the Karens that are too sensitive and mentally weak to overcome their political biases when making decisions in the market. Like it's part of the thing. Humans they're very weak and, right? We need those things. Do we not?
We actually really do. I mean, we really, really do. And the funny thing is that none of this stuff, JC, strikes me as very like, detail or data oriented, because you can show people the data and you can say, look, here's all the data I can come up with. Here's everything on a chart shows here. And yet they just won't listen. They still won't listen. And you're right. Ultimately, like when it boils down to it, all the people selling and going to cash because they're worried about an election are just providing the rocket
Liquidity.
fuel.
Fuel,
Liquidity, the rocket fuel. And it's frustrating from a like a strategist perspective, because I feel like I can help them, but ultimately, like you said, it's the people in the market that provide.
Yeah, you can tell 100 of them, one might listen, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. And by the way, remember, most people aren't looking for the truth. People just aren't looking for the truth. They're just looking for confirmation of their biases. That's it. And they are lost, essentially.
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad you mentioned Morgan Housel. He was in that pick, and you spent some time with him. You know, these are good lessons that he's written about over and over again over many years in the books, in the blogs. Morgan Housel, best in our generation,
Totally.
In my opinion.
Totally. I mean, him and Josh Brown, I think, changed my life in terms of how I view the markets and interacting with people, right? I think they also have personalities. They write in really clear ways, and they just stand head and shoulders above everybody else, in my opinion.
Dude, Morgan Housel was on a Josh Brown podcast, and they were talking about like telling stories and everything like that. And Morgan's like, you know who tells great stories? JC tells great stories with his charts. I was like, oh shit, you're talking about me. You know,
there's
like
a shout out.
And I don't care if people talk about me all the time, but like Morgan Housel specifically saying that I tell great stories, like, holy shit, that's like big time compliment.
I'll give you a compliment too. You're one of the only technicians that I really look at everything you do. And I think that what I really love about you in general is not only the charts, but I love your irreverence. I love when you just will go out there on your chart and be like, hey, they're not listening. If you listen, you can make money. And some people need to be slapped and be like, hey, this is how it really is. Stop listening to the wrong people.
That's right. Or please continue to, depending on how you look at it. All right. So we're looking at 73% of the S&P 500 is above their 200-day moving average.
Yep.
Michael Antonelli, quite the technician today. I like
so I have the backing of Strategist. My guy, Todd Sohn. You know Todd Sohn? He's got a partner. They got a partner, Chris Barone. They do some really, really good work for Strategist. They're a Baird company. So I get to interact with them a lot.
Right. They're a Baird company now. That's right.
That's right. So Baird acquired them a couple years ago. Maybe it was like 3 or 4 years ago. Let me say this. I thought so this was out of their morning note. I pulled it because I was sitting down at my desk. I figured this was really good. Look, you have 73% of the S&P above its 200-day. If you see that little channel it's in, that's about 60 to 85. So it's been in this channel all year, basically. This channel of between 60% and 85%. So, hey, that's status quo, right? It's status quo. It's just right down the middle of the fairway where it's been all year. 73%, that's a significant chunk of the S&P above its 200-day in uptrends. We love to see it. So there's absolutely nothing here that makes me worried about breadth, if you will, right? I think that this chart alone lets me know that we're still just down the middle of the fairway for the year.
And then so 73% of the S&P 500 is above their 200-day moving average. So not just 7 stocks then.
Yeah, no, I mean, the 7 stocks thing too, man. I raged about that on Twitter so much. I'm like, what are we doing? Equal weight was making new all-time highs, and some people were talking about 7 stocks. I'm like, can you not count? What am I like, is something wrong with my feed? Like,
I love Antonelli's out here telling people to count. Now we're talking. Someone's listening.
You're influencing me again, I think.
There you go. I love this.
Yeah.
Is this equally weight discretionary versus staples? Is this yours?
So no, this is, again, a Strategist chart. I should have actually clipped it from them. This, JC, I think is the most important chart. I don't know if you guys have it to pull up. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So this is super important. And I think you've looked at this every now and then. So Strategist calls this the best strategist on Wall Street, which, whatever, like that's fine. They can say that. So equal weight discretionary over equal weight staples. This is important to equal weight it. Why? Because you just want to remove Tesla and Amazon, the big ones, from the discretionary, right? So this thing, JC, really does a good job leading. This thing peaked in November of 2021. It peaked before the decline. So it peaked. And it also bottomed in July of 2023, which I think you said July of 23 was when the most amount of stocks stopped going down, essentially, right?
Yep.
So this bottoms in July.
In June of 22.
Yeah. So it bottoms in June of 2022, right before the market bottomed in October that year. But this indicators is basically risk on, risk off. That's what it's saying. Risk on or risk off. Discretionary over staples. What does the ratio say? It hasn't made new cycle highs. It's really close, really, really close. But look what it did in August and September. Had a little sell-off, defended it, came back to its highs. This indicator, I think, is real. If you're bullish, I think this indicator's, you always have to have it up on your desk. I think you always, maybe if you're just a technician at all.
And what do you make of the market? I mean, we live in a market cap weighted world at the end of the day. So we're looking at an equally weighted chart.
Yeah.
Is it, should we be looking at the market cap weighted version of this as well?
I've seen you look at the market cap weighted version of this, and I think that the argument that Tesla and Amazon are so big probably skews the information slightly. That would be my take. I think.
But you know what? Staples are skewed too, by the way.
Yeah.
I know discretionary gets all the hate because of Amazon and Tesla, but like when you look at consumer staples on a market cap weighted basis, Procter & Gamble's 10%, Costco's 10%, Walmart's 8.5%, Coca-Cola's 6%. I mean, it's not as egregious as the consumer discretionary, but still
up there, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so I think if you're playing at home, if you're watching at home, if you're watching us here, I think this is one you have to have on your screen. Like I really think you should put this on your screen because it's a really good, just broad stock market metric of is risk on or is risk off. And
now let's talk about why though.
So essentially, people buying discretionary stocks, right? People are buying riskier stocks and they're and selling more defensive stocks. And we can even look at I don't know if you guys have it, staples relative to the S&P, right? We can do that too. There's no signal out of that either for defense right now. So this is one of those signals that signals to me risk on. People are buying discretionary names. They're buying the names that move in good economies. They're buying the names that are riskier. Staples are not moving as fast relative to them. That people are not piling into defensive names at this very moment. And when this makes a new cycle high, if it does, look at the breakout. Look at the breakout if this thing makes a new cycle high. That's crazy. You're talking about almost a 20-year breakout. So this is a really, really important chart for the next few months. If we're in a seasonally good time, this should make a new cycle high. And whoa, I think that's a great signal. But again, we could look at things like staples relative to the S&P, healthcare relative to the S&P, and say, are the defensive sectors, are they active? Are people into them? And you'll see if you were to look at those, they are not. Like those, there's no signal coming out of those either.
Yeah. So let's take the other side, right? So let's say last week was the top. Let's say that's it. Now everything's about to fall apart, like they keep promising us. What are the types of things that you're looking for to indicate that perhaps things are changing?
Yeah. Okay, I would want to see this roll over. Okay, ultimately, I would want to see this roll over. I would want to start to see the defensive sectors start to lead. Okay, I'd want to see staples start popping on its own. I'd want to see healthcare. I'd want to see utilities. I'd want to see that. I also, JC, and this is tough because this is really like, it's such a hard thing to like get your arms around, and that's credit, right? Like, how do I look at credit? Like, what do I look at? What's the thing that tells me about credit? There's so many like derivatives. There's so many things out there. I would want to see credit fall apart, which it's not, right? You can look at things like, I don't know, HYG, right? That's a pretty decent indicator for credit, right? The high yield ETF. But I would want to look at things that are defensive, starting to work. And again, relative to the market, which a lot of people, when they're playing at home, will often forget, JC, that you do want to compare it to the market. So we can take out some of the noise. So I want to see credit. I want to see the VIX above 20. Like the VIX is only at 19. I would want to see if the market's going to peak, maybe we look at the dollar, right? Is the dollar starting to rally? Is our financial conditions tightening? Yields have moved higher, but I think that's more about economic data than it is about worries. I know the perma bears will say it's about worries, but they say everything's bad. Everything's bad all the time, constantly. So
no matter what it is,
my prime take on Twitter is everything's bad in both directions. Oil prices up, oil prices down, bad. Stocks up, stocks down, bad.
Right. Oil prices up, oh my God, inflation. Oil prices down, no
recession,
demand.
Recession. It's like, it's an absolute joke. And if you're on Twitter and you don't realize it's a joke, something's wrong with you. Like, honestly, like, can't you see? Like, give me a break.
And don't be afraid of the don't be afraid of the block button. Like, there was one of these Karens that was on the thing earlier complaining that I blocked him on Twitter, so I'm the Karen. No. I only block the people who have proven that the world is a better place without them in it. Yeah. And on Twitter, you get to play God and you get to just eliminate people from your world. And my world is the only one that matters in Twitter. So
you've been looking at
not
crypto
that I'm sensitive or anything like that. It's just that if you prove that you suck and the world's better
Yeah.
without you in it, I'm going to take you out.
I'm not spending a bunch of time ruining my time on Twitter because you suck. I'm glad I can use that term on here. I can't use that on like Yahoo or like Bloomberg or I just like it's not possible. Bitcoin. I want to look at some of the cryptos. How's Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin. Here's how I view Bitcoin. I'm not a maxi. I'm not one of these people that thinks it's going to take over the world. But how do you? Bitcoin's like small cap tech, right? Like it's just a risk on, risk off indicator, right? So if Bitcoin's making new highs, that's also another confirming factor, right? So if I see the Bitcoin complex start to collapse, maybe that means risk is being pulled back. So I can't find any of these things really right now that are striking me as wow, people are tilting bearish. And again, we're coming to the best 3 months of the year. You said this on email. You said this probably today. Coming into the best seasonal time, and we just went through the worst seasonal time of the year, and we ripped, absolutely ripped. So
the worst 6 months of the year. All of them were up double digits. NASDAQ, Dow, S&P, emerging markets, double digits when they were supposed to go down.
It's like, what are we doing? I get so frustrated. What are we doing? Like, just if you're not making money in times like these, when will you ever make money? Like, seriously, if you can't do it now, you're telling me you're going to do it when the world collapses? That's your moment? Like, no way. Like, no way.
I will be proven right. I will be proven right. It's like old man yelling at the sky.
I swear, man, if your whole goal in the investing world is to be proven right, you're going to have a tough time. Like, trust me, you are going to struggle a lot. Like, just find people to follow that are not only intellectually honest, but like can change their minds. I know JC can change his mind. I've seen it all the time. I can change my mind. Make sure.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're here talking about, discretionary versus staples. We're talking about strong market breadth and sector rotation and offenses on the field. Call your offensive plays. And my first question to you is, well, what is it going to take for you to change your mind? Because that is the more important thing.
Oh my God. It's just, I mean, we got payrolls coming up, right? We got 160 companies reporting this week, including the big mega caps. There's plenty of information, plenty of the playing field. It's a great week to be a stock market investor. Phenomenal. Plenty of action. We got great World Series games going on. We got great NFL college games. What's better than right now? I think everything's great. I'm really enjoying myself. Like, what do people want?
And at the end of the day, look around. I don't know about you, but the parties that I've been going to are not bear market parties.
No.
I mean, I went to a Halloween party yesterday that was like a wedding. It was out of control. I took a party bus to like a random 41-year-old's birthday party on like a Thursday recently. Like, we weren't doing that in bear markets.
No. I mean, not only am I doing this in bear market, like the weather's really nice. Like it's been super warm in the Northeast and the Midwest. I mean, it's just, you have to understand that when bull markets happen, right? They generally don't tend to die young. They don't die young. Like it's super rare to have a 1 to 2 year bear market. Super rare. And we just passed the 2-year mark on this bull market. And it's only like something like 60% off the lows or so. Those things are typically 5 and they're typically 100 plus. So you're not even that long into this bear market. If you're going to start if you're going to start questioning yourself and started looking, hey, it's 1929 again, which I haven't seen any of those in a while. Have you seen one of those like charts where they're like, oh, it's 1929 again? Those
no, Michael, it's 87, bro.
Oh, it's 87. That's right. It's 87. Yeah. It's October. Yeah.
Well, hold on. First of all, you just had 2 bear markets.
Yeah, we just had one.
So there's that, number one. Number two, if the bull market were to have ended last week and that was it, it will go down in history as way below average returns for a bull market and much shorter in duration than the average bull market. It will be such an outlier. So if you are betting on an outlier outcome, you are already putting the probabilities very, very much against you. So that, those are the things that I'm thinking about. Like when you zoom out, whenever in doubt, zoom out. Like I zoom out and those are the things that I'm thinking about. You just had 2 bear markets. Now you want another one?
We literally just had one. Like people are like, I'm like, it literally just happened. I mean,
in fact, most of these people were telling us we've still been in one.
Another one of my favorites, by the way, it's a short covering rally. Okay, so A, whatever, and B, doesn't everything start as a short covering rally? Like, do they all start as long only buying?
Do we have to give the profits back?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, do I have to? Can I not spend my profits? Is no good? Like,
can you imagine missing that rally?
You will
be paying for that for the rest of your life.
Not only missing it, but like sitting on the sidelines and being like, no, this isn't real. No, this is no good. No. Hey, there's something I did want to talk to you about, a sector, ITA. So the defense sector. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can pull up the ITA chart, but so there's this great quote that I saw about from Jimmy Carter. Okay, he said it in 2019. Jimmy Carter, still alive, by the way. He said in
Poor guy,
2019,
not looking good, man.
yes, it's tough. He said the United States has only been at peace for 16 of its 240 plus years as a nation. 16 of its 242 years as a nation. So
That's
here's
a wild stat.
Here's the defense and aerospace sector ETF. I mean, you can take this back as far as you want. You're going to notice that, you know, it's another one of those like long-term compounders. But we know that the world's a really unusual place. We know that the world's a crazy place. We know that the Middle East will always be crazy. We know that there's a war in Ukraine. We know that China's always rattling its saber around Taiwan. I think when it boils down to it, that you know, this is one of those sectors where you're entering a world where the United States might pull back from its kind of global cop status. Maybe we might pull back from kind of the defense spending that used to carry Europe. Maybe they have to pick up their defense spending. So I just thought it was a sector that was interesting to me, A, because the United States is never at peace, and B, I think the world we're entering is probably a little more volatile than maybe recent years, even though, again, a guy like me, the world's always volatile, like always. I want you to remember that. Like, it will always be volatile.
Yeah, and also this is a long-term charge. So just to put things in perspective, this thing went 6 years without doing anything. So it just broke out this year. So if you think this is parabolic and all this stuff, like, zoom out, because it's probably not, number one. Number two, this is part of the industrial sector, which has been the leader this bull market. People are like, oh, small caps aren't working. Well, maybe your small caps weren't working, but industrial small caps have been ripping, outperforming the S&P 500 and other large cap indexes. So industrials have been the space. This is part of industrial. Granted, a lot of things are part of industrials, but this is certainly one of them.
JC, let me ask you a question. And this is like a question about technicians. So I have this guy I used to work with in London. He was maybe one of the smartest salespeople I know. He used to say this. You tell me your take on this and whether this is true or not. He used to say, in stocks or indices, okay, but mostly in stocks, he used to say big moves start big moves, which I like that. You see, like, you'll see a stock gap up after earnings. You'll see a stock break the top of its trend. You'll see a stock move higher in a big move. His whole viewpoint, I think this is correct, is that big moves don't end moves. They start moves. And
that's right.
You're looking at...
We've quantified this, and we know for a fact that, yes, when you have these momentum thrusts, they historically, very consistently, I might add, are very characteristics of early cycles, not exhaustion, right?
Yeah.
So the latest example, I mean, I can give you 1,000 examples. Steve Strazza certainly can as well. Throw up slide 7 quick there, Spencer. Bring it back to China. We just had the biggest move in Chinese equities in history.
Right.
So to your point,
that starts a move.
Are we going to bet that this was an exhaustion of some kind, or is just getting going?
Yeah, like, you're talking about going nowhere for literally like over a year plus, actually going down for a long time. Another thing somebody used to say to me that I thought was really cool, and I'm sure you've said this too, is like, the top of the chart is not resistance. So I also like that phrase.
You got to pinch your y-axis.
Yeah, like, the top of the chart is not the resistance. It's not like natural resistance there. And you know, while I don't use technicals as much when I engage with like wealth management clients, I love them for the storytelling. Like you said, I love them for the information that they provide. And I think if used correctly, I think, you know, breakouts, breaking out of ranges, big moves, I think they're all super, super valuable.
Michael, how about the fact that these things are just facts?
Yeah, just facts. Yeah, just data.
So it's not like JC's opinion or Todd So's opinion or Antonelli's opinion. It's just fact.
Just numbers, just data. You're not looking at any sort of like this again, which is why when you make fun of people telling stories about politics, I sit at my desk and just laugh my ass off.
At least I'm out here trying to make myself laugh, right? I'm here for numero uno, but if I can get some chuckles around the country too, that's cool.
I absolutely love it. You got to keep me and you. Again, I think that this is such a great service, such a great platform that you have here. And I really enjoy coming on. I need to go out to New York and see you on Josh Brown's show too. We need to go on TCAF together or something.
Come whenever. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's great.
We should. I think we'd have a lot of fun.
We should record the dinner afterwards. We never do, but that's always better.
Those are probably awesome, right? I'm trying to think what else I had on my screen here that I want to talk about. VIX is fine, equal weight discretionary. When it boils down to it, I still think that the setup is there. I think not only is the setup there technically, I think earnings continue to rise. I think the interest rate policy in the United States is finally not super restrictive anymore. They did cut. They probably won't cut again. Maybe they watch for another round. The Hurricanes beat the Seminoles. I think that's a huge bullish signal. And and the Green Bay Packers are really good.
Winner, best wide receiver core in the country. I mean, just brings so much joy to my life.
Nothing to dislike.
It's my therapy being a Dolphins fan, having the Hurricanes so good. It's my therapy. Michael Antonelli, we'll have you back on after the most important presidential election of all time.
Totally.
We'll have you back and we'll reevaluate.
I appreciate you guys so much.
All right, Mike. Adios.
See ya.
You forgot to mention the most important earnings season of all time.
Of course. The most important everything.
Right.
Steve Strazza is chiming in on the chat saying he is YOLOing so hard right now.
Steve will be back in 5 minutes. He needs
our chief YOLO officer is in the process of YOLOing. A little Monday morning YOLO, no big deal.
I've been following Michael on Twitter for a very long time, and but that's the first time I've actually spoken to him, sort of, or really just interacted with him. So it was great. That was awesome.
Antonelli, friend of ours.
Yeah.
All
right. Let's take a look at things off the open here. Anything jump out? We had, like I said, not much in the way of earnings this morning. Just Phillips is kind of the big one.
Resiliency in the Dow there. You had the Nasdaq up early as the early leader this morning. The Dow really ripping. Dow up 300 points now this morning, despite crude oil getting the crap kicked out of it. Resiliency in the precious metals market, despite a stronger dollar, has been very impressive. Antonelli making a really good point. I thought, if you want to bring back that Antonelli chart with the percentage of stocks above their 200-day moving average, I think he's spot on. I love the fact that Baird bought Strategist. Love those guys, friends of the show, Chris Verone, Todd Sohn. And, listen, if the percentage of, because, listen, there's no magic about the 200-day moving average, but pretty much you could just say, if you're above the 200-day moving average, you're probably not in a downtrend. Right? Simple way. Is it in an uptrend or is it in a downtrend, from an intermediate term perspective? So when you're looking at the percentage of stocks in uptrends, if we were to break down and fewer stocks are in uptrends, that would be the first time really all year that we've seen something like that. That would be a heads up that perhaps things are changing. So that support there that's drawn, I think that's spot on. Well done.
Cool. Seeing a lot
on my mind.
Yeah, I was seeing a lot of commentary this morning about Google Alphabet. It's getting sold off just a smidgen off, but it was up nicely in the pre-market this morning. People talking about Google, especially because they report earnings like tomorrow? Yeah.
Google's got that Waymo.
They've had it. Yeah.
They have it. It's theirs.
Yeah. They've had that. Waymo's not new. That's like a.
Well, people are using it more and more. So what it seems like, right?
It's
a little disingenuous to say self-driving cars are not new. I would argue they're pretty relatively new, aren't they?
I've never. I thought it was just in like San Francisco.
I think it's in Arizona.
Oh, maybe.
You know how like certain like weird cities like Pittsburgh and like, not weird, but like random, Pittsburgh is like a test center. You got the Mountain View where Google is. Then you got Arizona. Like they're picking. I'm sure there's a strategic reason why they're picking these spots, but
of course,
to me, they're random. Like San Francisco, for example, would not be random. That would make sense.
No,
maybe New York or Miami or something, but Pittsburgh, all right. Arizona.
Oh, Matt says he took one in LA last week. There you go.
There you go.
All right.
Oh, they're in Los Angeles too.
And
what'd you think, Matt? Was it good?
Hey, what exactly? It's the self-driving car thing, right? That's what Waymo is. I thought.
Yeah, like the guy in charge, like took his kids in there, like the kid's first self-driving car ride. Like, that's a statement. You can take your kid in there. Like you probably believe in it pretty well if you're gonna take your kid, right?
I don't think so. And yes, whoever commented on the DJT, this thing is out of control, up another 14.5% this morning.
Yeah, for those who have been huge haters on, this thing has tripled.
I was going to say
Donald Trump Media and Technology Group.
It's quadrupled, actually. It's quadrupled, actually.
Right, almost quadrupled. Right.
Yeah. From 11 to 47 now.
Yeah.
Or sorry,
Yeah,
44.
that's an absolutely huge move. So for those people who think that a Trump presidency is not priced in, I would reevaluate your data.
No, but I was into this idea that we kind of touched on like an hour ago, which was that a Trump victory would be a sell the news event, right? Because it's been priced in for weeks now.
All right.
So-
Well, we got a week to go.
I don't think it's going to be an event. I think if Harris somehow pulls this off, market crashes. I think financials are down 10%, Bitcoin's down 5,000, Dow's down 2,000.
You either way, the market will go down, right?
No, I don't think so. I think if Trump wins, it's a non-event because everybody knew.
Yep.
And if Harris wins, it's a disaster.
There's going to be,
And then if Trump wins by a landslide, it's just another day. Turn the page. It's now Wednesday. You know.
so it depends on like what when we say the reaction, like what is it? Like that night?
That's a
What our
really
future's
good
going to do?
point.
Or like to
I
finish
think
the week?
volatility collapses after the fact because that premium gets dissipated or whatever.
Great
I
question,
think
Steve.
volatility collapses and it's a complete non-event. That's
You're gonna
that's my prediction. As somebody
gonna
who doesn't
get
make predictions, that's my prediction.
I think you're going to get an immediate overreaction that night. I don't know which
You
direction.
think so?
Of course,
Yeah,
of
Dude,
course.
people are stupid.
No, you know what's going to happen? These betting odds have been moving, and as the day approaches, I think they will either stay still or keep moving in the same direction. And then the day of, as the data starts coming in and he wins all of them, you're going to see a 99% like by like 8 p.m. Eastern time or something like that.
What if it's like last time and it actually takes a couple days for us to figure out who won, right? Then,
I mean, I trust the data. I'm not one of these conspiracy theorists, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe that's ignorant on my part, maybe. But I trust the data, and everything is suggesting he wins by a complete landslide. And I think that continues to show itself over the next 7 days. And maybe it doesn't, and maybe it completely changes, and then we'll reevaluate. But based on the weight of the evidence, it's just going to continue. And to be clear, this is not a political thing. I don't give a shit who your president is. I'm just trying to make money from it.
oh, he's your president too, but or she wouldn't be your president.
I love America. I'm bullish America. Go USA, all that stuff. But I'm an earthling, so I'm just trying to make money here.
Here's what I'm concerned
Shout out
with.
earthlings.
Yeah, you're right, Spencer. He would be all of our president. So I'm interested in the catch-up trades.
I'm getting a European passport, by the way. I just got word. Isn't that
Fantastic. Everybody's happy for you.
cool? So how many presidents am I going to have? Like 20?
I can't. Dogecoin is a Trump trade. I got news for you all. No? Is it not? And look at the Solana meme coins.
Why does everything have to be an election trade? Why
Because
can't it?
right now that's what the people want to hear, Spencer. I don't give a shit if it is or not. This is a perfect base. This is a chart I'm buying either way. However, I do like the little story I could paint behind this little base breakout, which is that this one should rise maybe disproportionately as Trump is priced in more and more. Why wouldn't Elon Musk's things do better? Right? It doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. He's obviously going to have a nice position in the next administration. Dogecoin is going to be the rocket next week. Is it not? Is it not? Am I crazy?
I don't think
just
you're
bought some
crazy. I
Doge.
think you might be overthinking it a wee bit.
All right, let's talk about some other things I bought. I think the regional banks are set up nicely. I'm long calls. Look at that 1 minute candle we're getting right now. The KRE is about to break out. I think you're going to see that right ahead of the election. I think you get long the regionals here. I think you could pick and choose them as well. I want to be long M&T Bank all day. I love that name. It's also my bank. I think the cryptos. I just sold puts in Coinbase, weekly calls, bought the calls, just got the fill here. Also, Mara for a catch up. I think Mara is just a levered Bitcoin vehicle, and it has a lot of catching up to do. Riot has been doing really well. Mara's been lagging behind. CleanSpark is another one that comes to mind. These things are really juicy. You could do this in a number of different ways. But that's what I'm doing here this morning. The Doge, the Coinbase, and the Coinbase I've been doing like every week. So just back to the well and the Mara.
Okay.
KRE. I'll probably add some KRE. I'll probably
Here, I got one. Throw up
I'm gonna
slide
do it
2
through
there.
calls.
And then after this, we'll bring on Sam.
I just sold so many weekly
Throw
puts.
slide
in
2.
Coinbase.
Sam has an obscure biotech for us, I think.
Better.
Sure. So how are we feeling about the Mew?
Dude. Is this a Solana memer?
Yeah, so this is you can get it on Radium. This one's easy to trade. You don't have to get all fancy. Just go to
it's not easy.
Radium. This is the a cat in a dog's world out to save the world from other dog coins. Is that you could read the white paper if you'd like, but that's basically the gist of it. So we're looking at almost $1 billion in market capitalization. This would make it the 77th largest token in the world, cat in a dog's world. Ticker symbol MEW. Spencer is buying it as we speak on Radium.
That's right.
Not bad, right? I mean, these are serious market capitalization. I mean, look at the bonk.
Mew was a famous Pokemon.
Probably. Pokemon was after my time, so I'm not quite familiar. It was like after my time, and my kids aren't old enough for it yet. So I'm like in that, that purgatory of, area.
We all have those things that we missed.
Like I was at a Halloween party. I went to a lot of Halloween parties. It's not even Halloween yet. I've been to like 4 of them. And somebody was dressed up as a character from the Pokemon, and I was not in the know. I felt very out of the loop.
Did you play with like pods instead?
Pogs?
Was it Pogs?
Pogs. I had Pogs.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I missed that.
All right.
I had Pogs. I had some stupid shit. I wasn't into the Beanie Babies.
I mean, how old are you? Did you have an Atari too?
I did not have an Atari, but my cousins had an Atari, and I would play with my cousin's Atari. I personally did not. I started with the OG Nintendo.
Should we talk about like how badly this week's analyst meeting must have gone without me, that you guys are shorting banks ahead of the election?
It was awesome. And we guys are not shorting banks.
Yeah.
And Jason Furs told Sean that he's crazy, for the record, which is probably what you would have said.
I yelled at the whole analyst team. I said, how did this happen?
You weren't there. The rest of the meeting went great, and we put on other trades, and Sean is the only one who put on the financial trade. And to his credit, he had a lot of long exposure and was looking for like an outlier in case shit really hits the fan. He's got something there. So I respect that. It's not for me, but I respect it.
Makes me sad, but I'm buying calls.
Don't blame the rest of us for Sean's irresponsibility.
I blame all of you. I literally messaged the analyst team as soon as I got back to my desk. How the hell did this happen? Who let this happen?
We didn't agree. But Sean, listen, that's what's cool about it. We all have our opinions. We all do what we can. And I make bad decisions sometimes. You most definitely do. Spencer, I mean, bad decisions all the time. Right? Sean, mixing in a YOLO.
If there's one group,
it's not even YOLO. It's a freaking hedge, whatever.
No, but here's the problem with it. If there's one group that's going to absolutely explode next week, it's these stocks. Don't underestimate the moves.
But also if all of this data is a fugazi and Trump loses, regional banks get destroyed.
Probably.
Yeah.
Imagine if he wins.
That's the reason he did that.
M&T's up 10% the next morning.
Fine. I didn't put the trade on. You don't have to come.
There's no businesses that stand to win more from a Trump victory than these guys. It's all I'm saying.
I know.
Like no one would argue that either. Like, this is out there.
But if a Marxist is a president, it's not good for banks.
Terrible.
Right.
All right. Can I bring Sam on?
Bring him out. Shout out Kansas. I like it. I like it, Sam. Guys. What's up, my man?
What's up?
Ladies and gentlemen, Sam Gatlin, my favorite person these days. He brings me bubble charts. He brings me Biotech. I mean, this is my man these days. Everybody, give Sam a follow on the old Twitter.
Please.
All right, Sam. Talk to us about Biotech and Biotech only.
We're going to talk about Biotech.
That's it.
I brought along the LGND.
Legend. Wow.
So this is kind of like buying a biotech ETF. So this is a royalty company, and I don't know how many biotech experiments they have going on, but it's a lot.
I love this model, Sam.
Biotech company.
Sam, so it's like an incubator of biotechs?
It's pretty much an incubator.
So it's like the Y Combinator.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to put it. But
this is the wheat and precious metals of biotechs. And
it's funny you brought that point up, because I brought along another one from the precious metal space, a royalty and streaming company.
But wait for it. Hold on. We'll get to precious metals. We're not done with biotechs.
Yeah.
This is kind of a theme. This is not the first one. Was it Corcept? C-O-R-T? What's the other royalty pharma that came out of a nice base recently? Should we make a little list of these? Because I love this model.
Yeah, I love it too.
Earning
and
all your
it's-
cash kind of thing.
Yeah. It's really
Right.
interesting too, is that you'd like take out the whole event risk, or a
Yes.
lot of it, because like a lot of these biotech companies have, I don't know, 5 different projects going on, and if one of them
Yeah.
has a bad readout, then
Just looking at the chart, I don't see any 50% gap moves.
exactly, yes,
No.
this is a lot smoother. It's just a textbook slow trend reversal.
2 billion. That's the sweet spot too. That's kind of right in our little nook there in terms of size. Great base. I'm buying this one today. Done.
Yeah, love
And
it.
then so who's the Ehrlich Bachman of Ligand Pharmaceuticals? Like who's running the show?
What a character, huh? Great. What a
Great character.
Great character.
I'm not sure who's running it.
All right. Well, good deep dive analysis there, Sam. Thank you very much.
don't dive too deep. Here's
Sam's
the
like,
problem.
Sam's like, I don't give a shit who's running.
Yeah, this
who's
chart is
running this.
fine.
Look at that base,
Yeah.
bro.
Because here's the problem with going too deep on the bios. Then you come up with like, you think you're smart. Oh, they're curing this, they're curing that. You fall in love with something. It's trading at all-time lows. It's a laggard, but you're like, no, they're saving the world. It's just really easy to
That's
hurt
the
yourself.
genomic stocks right now.
Yeah.
That's why I like the retail stocks, because you're not talking about some molecule for some disease you've never heard of. It's like they sell shoes, they sell women's bras, they sell yoga pants, they sell
Listen.
socks. You know, like it's so
you know,
much easier.
we're really careful. We're lucky that we're chart people because we look to the chart to confirm these beautiful stories sometimes. Like genomics, I fully believe they're going to change the world. I think it's some of the greatest technology ever on Earth, known to man. However, you look at any of these charts, I can't buy them here.
Yeah.
I still think it's going to change the world, but I'm not buying these downtrends, right? So like for us, we look at the story, we like the story, but then we look to the chart to say, should we believe this story, at least right now? And a lot of times it's just a timing issue.
I'm glad you mentioned storytelling, because we're going to look at some rocks now. And my Canadian associates, when they describe the stocks that they own, they talk about them as stories. I own 8 stories. I own 5 stories. Like
I
they don't
just
even
love that.
talk about them as companies or stocks.
Yeah.
They literally call them stories. Shout out
Fantastic.
Canada.
Canada.
So talk to you about the
Flag
rocks,
precious
Sam.
metals. This is a story, JC. Check this one out. A new issue, making new all-time highs. Slide 22.
22. It's a lot today.
Yeah. Check that. Above 18, the trend reversal's in here. TFPM's going to 28.
Now, is this royalties? Why
It
it look
is.
so much
This is
better?
like the same thing as a wheat and precious metals, or yeah,
You could tell.
exactly. Yeah, it has that pattern. It looks like that.
Yeah.
Big cup and handle.
These guys aren't pulling shit out of the ground themselves. You could tell from the chart.
Right.
You
exactly.
could tell it's probably like a technician who started this company. Triple flag, huh?
No, this is a great looking chart. And so this one just came public, late 22. Wow.
Right. Yep.
Wow.
See,
Canada.
Sam, you're my favorite too, because every time I talk to you, I buy more stocks, but I am running out of capital. All right. This is great. I'm on board. Let's do it.
Fantastic, Sam. How about those Chiefs, Sam, huh?
Chiefs, yes, 7-0. They looked really good yesterday.
Yeah.
They did.
As somebody who watches a bad team in the Miami Dolphins every Sunday, I could tell you that the Chiefs look much better.
And how they got DeAndre Hopkins, I have no idea, but wow, is that a nice pickup?
Indeed.
I'm
Got to
tired
get a good hair guy.
He's got great hair. I think
Great
it goes
hair.
past his tailbone.
Could you imagine if you had a haircut like him? That would be awesome.
I think I could rock it.
You have like too much of a clean cut look, Sam. We got to get your hair messy. We got to
Sam,
get you there.
It just grew
Spike
out.
it up like yours.
There
Sam,
we go.
Dogecoin, yes or no?
Yeah, I'm on board. Definitely. I also brought along a chart of the wolf. It
Is-
kind of reminds me of that Dogecoin.
Which
base.
wolf specifically?
The
Not the
Bitcoin mining
semiconductor.
wolf. The one that doesn't suck.
The wolf, the one that doesn't suck. That's how I like how you put that. The wolf with a U.
Yep.
Hey, listen, the other one we nailed with a beautiful short earlier this year. It was like one of the only semiconductors that wasn't working. But now if you look at it, so we're talking about wolf speed. It's the wolf with an O. Up off the lows, back from the dead. Even the worst semiconductors not going to zero. I don't know. Maybe there's something there. This one does look a lot better. What, long above 7?
Yeah, got 17% short interest as well. So
Yeah, and the
But the
core
days to
sign,
cover is only 2.
yeah,
it's fine. It's okay. The Iris Energy comes to name. Also, IREN breaking out of a little short days. And Core Scientific is making new highs. So
yeah, Coors is the best.
Yeah, Coors is the best. Core Scientific.
Core's,
Big short interest there too.
yeah, taste the Rockies, baby.
All right, let's do a little recess and blow this popsicle stand.
Go Giants.
Go
Are these
Chiefs.
the New York Giants or the San Francisco Giants?
No. It's football season.
Today is a sports equinox.
Don't know what that means.
Means we got basketball, baseball, football, hockey, and actually even soccer all being played on the same day.
This
too much
is the best
sports.
time of the year.
It's too much sports, and I don't care about half of them.
Okay.
Tell me how you really feel.
NCAA hoop starts very soon, though. Excited
week.
about that.
Next week. This is true.
Going for some spicy-
I have a fun little thing. I went to a French cooking class last night. Somebody asked, "What's the worst thing that's ever happened here?" And they asked like the instructor, and she said, "Well, one time somebody was slicing vegetables, and she knocked the knife off of the counter.
Oh no!
And what did she do?
She caught a falling knife.
She caught the falling, or she tried to catch a falling knife." And she cut herself and she passed out, and it was a whole thing. So there was like a lesson here, I think, something about catching falling knives and don't do it.
It's a little too real, that example, but yeah.
So
that
that
would
actually happen. So don't catch falling knives, everyone. Just general
Good lesson, Spencer.
rule of
Good
thumb.
lesson.
Yeah.
But hold on, Spencer. A French cooking class? These people don't know what they're doing. What kind of a thing did they teach you?
It was
First of all, the
Grenade
French are the
sauce?
Wait.
best. What are you talking about?
Disgusting. They're like, how did they teach you like how to bake a croissant?
no, it wasn't so
First
much.
of all, you're an idiot,
No.
Strazza.
Awful. The cuisine is just lacking. In
They
every way
invented cuisine. You're an idiot.
Steve.
You're an
so
idiot.
bad.
No, man. No, it was like interactive. It was like 12 of us, and we all kind of helped. It was like a team effort to do the thing. It was like lamb and potatoes and Swiss chard. It was good. It's good.
Potatoes and Swiss chard. Ooh. All right, take an Italian cooking class next time. Maybe you'll learn something.
Where do you think the Italians learn how to cook, bro?
Italy.
Where do you think caviar's from? Do you think it's from Italy
Russia.
or is it France?
Russia.
What about escargot? Is that Italian too?
That I like.
And what about Bordeaux and
Love me
Burgundy
some escargot. Yeah,
and
green light.
Chateauneuf du Pape and
Oh, good.
Chardonnay?
Nice.
Are those
It's butter.
Italian too?
Listen, I love the cheese. Great cheese out there.
And what? Talk to me more. Talk to me about the oysters. Where are they from?
Disgusting. I'll go drink ocean water. It's like the saltiest thing ever. They don't even take the salt out of their oysters. It's so disgusting. I almost threw up.
Yeah, that's the point. It's great.
Strazza doesn't trust me with most things, but when it comes to food, he does trust me.
Not the French.
So this is one of those times, Strazza, where trust your elders here.
I'm not there.
Listen up, young lad. The French do it right. When you're in Japan, you eat at the French restaurants. When you're in France, you eat at the Japanese restaurants. There's no Italian there. Trust me. By the way, I'm obsessed with Italian cuisine and Italian wine. But don't. And as much as I like to hate on the French, because they're just always angry and, they hate everybody, and I get it.
Mean
But they
people.
do the wine and the food pretty well, Strazza.
I'll give them the wine and the cheese and the croissants.
The croissants aren't even French. I think they're Austrian.
Go Austria.
All right, JC, what you got anything, or was it all the Halloween parties?
No. It's just Strazza's an idiot. That's what I got today.
All right.
You guys want to see my fantasy fest photos?
God, I don't think I do. Do I? I don't know if I do.
Oh.
Sam, you got anything?
Yeah, go Chiefs. Undefeated.
Okay.
We're going for a third Super Bowl this year. I'm bullish. Stay along Kansas City Chiefs.
Trent is your friend, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not fighting that trend.
Yep.
Cool. Go Yanks. Tough one. We'll be back tonight. We'll see what happens. It's Monday. We got Chart Request Live coming at you. 1 o'clock. We got the weekly Gold Rush video for members of AAC Gold Rush, and that's what's going on. So smash the like. Thanks to Michael Antonelli for hanging out. Thanks Kenny Glick. Thanks Sam Gatlin. Thanks chat. We appreciate you. Go make some money. All right.
Adios.
I'm short Pate, long Doge.
Sam looks like he's 15. He does. Good for him. I wish I looked that young.
Handsome guy.
Handsome man.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs.